Good evening, friends. We are back again with one more session on Learn Polity through MCQ. This is the 8th part, and today we are going to talk about directive principles of state policy. So, without any further delay, guys, let us start. So, guys, the first question is DPSPs are contained in which part of the Indian Constitution? So, guys, we all know that part 3 is fundamental rights. Part 4 will be directive principles of state policy starting from Article 36 to 51. So, from Article 36 to 51, we have directive principles of state policy enshrined under Part 4 of the Indian Constitution. Moving towards the next question, guys, it is asking about the nature of the directive principles of state policy. So, guys, directive principles of state policies, are they justiciable? No. Are they judicially enforceable? No. Enforceable during emergency? No. So, guys, remember, directive principles are non-justiciable in nature. So, you must remember this particular point. This is the key difference between fundamental rights and the DPSP. Okay, that DPSPs are non-justiciable in nature. Moving towards the next question, guys, we have here DPSPs are borrowed from from the Constitution of. So, guys, it is asking about the source of the directive principles of state policy. So, we all know that it has been borrowed from the Irish Constitution or the Constitution of Ireland. So, remember that we have borrowed it from the Constitution of Ireland or Irish Constitution. Moving towards the next slide, we have which article defines the term state for the purpose of directive principles of state policy. So, guys, we all know that in fundamental right also Article 12 defined the definition of state. Here, to be specific about DPSP, we are talking about DPSP. So, it is mentioned in Article 36 and the definition is same as that of Article 12. Okay. Remember that Article 36 of the Indian Constitution defines the term state for the purpose of directive principles of state policy. Moving towards the next slide, we do have which article of the Indian Constitution declares DPSPs as fundamental in the governance of the country. So, guys, even though DPSP is non-enforceable in nature, but it is very fundamental for the governance in the country. Okay, in order to establish a welfare society, it is fundamental in governance. So, guys, it is mentioned under Article 37 of the Indian Constitution. Remember that Article 37 tells that DPSPs are fundamental in the governance of the country. Moving towards the next slide, we have here equal pay for equal work is mentioned under. So, guys, remember, equal pay for equal work is mentioned under Article 39D. Okay. So, be it male or female, if they are working the equal work, they will be entitled for equal remuneration. So, equal pay for equal work. Okay. Mentioned under Article 39D. Okay. Moving towards the next slide, we have, guys, Uniform Civil Code is provided in one of the favorite topics of the examiners. Uniform Civil Code is provided in which of the following articles? So, guys, remember Article 44 of the Indian Constitution talks about the Uniform Civil Code, which means uniform laws for all the civil cases, civil matters. Okay. Moving towards the next slide, we have organization of village panchayat is mentioned in. Organization of village panchayat is mentioned in which of the following articles? So, guys, remember, organization of a village panchayat is a Gandhian DPSP and it is mentioned under Article 40 of the Indian Constitution. Gandhian DPSPs are such DPSPs that followed the ideology of Mahatma Gandhi. So, it will be Article 40 of the Indian Constitution. Moving towards the next slide, we have here free legal aid is provided under. So, guys, free legal aid is provided under Article 39A. Article 39A. Free legal aid is provided under Article 39A of the Indian Constitution. Remember that. Okay. That is the free legal aid for the poor. Okay, in case of any legal complexities. Moving towards the next slide, protection and improvement of the environment is mentioned under. So guys, the protection and the improvement of the environment is mentioned under Article 48A. Article 48A talks about protection and improvement of the environment. Okay, remember that. Moving towards the next slide, we have separation of the judiciary from the executive is mandated by which of the following DPSPs? So guys, we all know that we have three wings, three arms, basically the judiciary, the legislature and the executive. Okay, however, the separation of judiciary from the executive is mandated by Article 50 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, in order to run a healthy democracy, we must separate the judiciary from the executive. Remember that, and that is being mentioned in the Article 50 of the Indian Constitution. Now, coming towards the next question, we have here raising the level of nutrition and standard of living is mentioned under which of the following articles? So, remember, guys, it is being mentioned under Article 47 of the Indian Constitution. 47 of the Indian Constitution. Moving towards the next slide, we have early childhood care and education is mentioned under which of the following DPSPs? So guys, it has been mentioned under Article 45 of the Indian Constitution that talks about early childhood care and education, and we can cite an example. ICDS, Anganwadis can be termed as an example following this particular DPSP. Moving towards the next slide, we have promotion of international peace and security is in which of the following DPSPs? So remember guys, this promotion of international peace and security has been mentioned under Article 51 of the Indian Constitution. Okay, 51 of the Indian Constitution. Yes, we promote international peace and security. We provide troops for UN peacekeeping missions. We basically follow international laws and guidelines. So that shows that we promote international peace and security as well. Okay, moving towards the next slide, we have moving towards the next question, guys. We have here the cow protection and improvement of animal husbandry. It is mentioned in which of the following articles? So guys, Article 48 of the Indian Constitution talks about animal husbandry and cow protection. Okay, so this is Article 48 that talks about cow protection and improvement of animal husbandry. Moving towards the next slide, we have here promotion of education and economic interest of SCs and STs and weaker sections is mentioned under which of the following articles? So guys, remember, it is mentioned under Article 46 of the Indian Constitution. Remember that it is mentioned under Article 46 of the Indian Constitution. Moving towards the next question, we do have here, guys, moving towards the next question, living wage and decent standard of life for workers is mentioned under which of the following articles? So remember guys, it has been mentioned in Article 43 of the Indian Constitution. Article 43 talks about the living wage and decent standard of life for workers. Moving towards the next question, we have participation of workers in the management of industries is in which of the following articles? So guys, it has been mentioned under Article 43A. So Article 43A talks about the participation of workers in the management of industries. Okay. Moving towards the next question, guys, we have here Article 39A and 43A were added by which constitutional amendment? So remember, guys, both of the articles were added by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. And remember, guys, as far as the 42nd and 44th is concerned, I have given you a trick. 44th, the year will be 4 plus 4, 8, so 1978. And 42nd will be 4 plus 2, 6, so it will be 1976. Okay, so 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, 1976. Remember that. Moving towards the next question, we have here, last question for the day. Directive principles of state policy in the Indian Constitution primarily seek to achieve which of the following? Establish of a welfare state ensuring social and economic justice, guarantee of political democracy through fundamental rights, judicial supremacy over executive action, and uniformity in governance across all states. No, guys. So, the most appropriate answer will be establishment of a welfare state ensuring social and economic justice. So, the correct option will be option A. The correct option will be option A. Remember that? So, with this, we are done with today's session. We will be coming up with more such sessions. Till then, stay connected with Edufy.